on the South today, Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern shocks the nation, announcing she'll step down from her role as leader. An adventurous Australian stops off in Dunedin on his journey to see New Zealand from a new perspective. And Cantabrians get their say on what might feature in a new regional edition of a classic board game. Kia ora, good evening. I'm Hannah Wilkins. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern shocked the nation this afternoon after announcing her decision to step down as the nation's leader. Ardern revealed she plans to leave the top role by early February and set a date for the new general election in October.
Jacinda Ardern choking back tears as she announced her resignation to media this afternoon in Napier, where Labour is holding a caucus retreat.
And so today I'm announcing that I will not be seeking re-election and that my term as Prime Minister will conclude no later than the 7th of February.
It was a surprise announcement, with the Prime Minister revealing she plans to step down from the job early next month. Ardern says she made the decision over the summer break after deciding she no longer has enough in the tank to continue the leadership in an election year.
This has been the most fulfilling 5.5 years of my life, but it has also had its challenges.
Ardern claimed the country's top job in 2017 at a time when tight housing supplies, growing homelessness and child poverty dominated political discussions across the south. The 2019 Christchurch mosque shootings focused international attention on the southern city, with Ardern's leadership a feature among the coverage. The ongoing COVID-19 pandemic ramped up the pressure, demanding a constant media presence. Jacinda Ardern led the Labour Party to re-election in late 2020 and today revealed New Zealanders will go to the polls for the next general election on the 14th of October. The shock resignation will set the Labour Party scrambling to find a replacement leader, but Deputy Grant Robertson has confirmed he won't be seeking the job. The Labour Party caucus plan to vote for a new leader in 3 days' time. From the South today.
We know the next few years will not be easy.
Quick responding crews managed to control a scrub fire that was threatening a house in Queenstown around 11 this morning. The large blaze broke out on Thursday morning in Queenstown's Highview Terrace and scrub area surrounded by residential properties. Fire crews and appliances from Queenstown and Frankton responded to the call-out, quickly containing the fire. They worked to prevent the blaze from spreading, with crews leaving the charred scene around an hour later. It's believed the fire may have been sparked by a concrete grinder being used for construction work at the site. Sharks, big seas and a sore backside are just some of the dangers facing a world-first solo mission to ride around New Zealand on a jet ski. Adventurous Australian real estate agent Lindsay Warner stopped off in Dunedin this week to pick up some fuel supplies and share a few stories.
A close encounter on the high seas as Lindsay Warner passes a cruise liner on his way to Dunedin. The 64-year-old's on a mission to circumnavigate New Zealand solo on his jet ski. The intrepid Aussie's already completed a solo trip around Australia. He spent 89 days on the water for the massive 15,000 kilometre trip, which came with some unique risks.
Generally, the biggest concern was crocodiles up north. You had to be very much aware in shallow water when you come into beaches and those sort of things.
The seafaring real estate agent is now keen to be the first to attempt a similar trip around Aotearoa.
New Zealand hasn't been circled solo on a jet ski before. So I think there's more people climbing Mount Everest this year than there is going around New Zealand on a jet ski. So that kind of adds to my sense of adventure. Do something nobody's done before.
He admits the often bumpy ride is physically and mentally demanding, requiring a special dry suit, extra fuel and lots of Vaseline. The next stage of his 25-day trip will take him south to Riverton, then travelling up the wild west coast before crossing over to Wellington to continue the mission around the North Island. In Dunedin, the South today.
The original star of Dunedin Royal Albatross Centre's Royal Cam has made her way back home nearly 7 years to the day after she hatched. Moana was the first bird to feature on the centre's webcam at the breeding colony on Taiaroa Heads back in 2016, with the images live streamed to a global audience. Albatross typically return to their colony 4 to 10 years after they fledge. Scientists estimate they can travel around 1 million kilometres before returning home. Moana's return was highly anticipated as the first star of the Royal Cam, which had viewers as far away as Europe and America. Department of Conservation Wildlife Ranger Sharon Broney spotted Moana at the reserve, using the unique tag given to the northern royal albatross as a chick. She's not expected to begin breeding right away. It can take around 3 years for a bird to find a mate after returning to their original colony. Cantabrians are being invited to have their say on what they'd like to see included in a new regional edition of the classic board game Monopoly. A version produced for the Southland district last year proved a big hit, and now the Garden City is keen to play.
Christchurch is getting ready to pass go as popular board game Monopoly gets a Canterbury-themed makeover. Submissions are now open for locals to suggest their favourite streets and properties, which could be included in a special regional edition of the classic game. The Christchurch game board could see traditional spots like Old Kent Road and Park Lane replaced with Cashel Street and the Cathedral. Custom versions of the game have previously been created for Auckland, Wellington, Palmerston North and Southland. The Monopoly sets are manufactured and distributed by Sydney-based company Winning Moves under licence from American company Hasbro. Across the ditch, the Aussie editions featured popular city landmarks rather than just streets, including Melbourne's MCG Cricket Ground and Sydney Harbour. And while having local place names may make the game more familiar, the rules won't change, ensuring Monopoly remains a challenging and frustrating game for many players. Canterbury's version of the game is expected to go on sale in October, with a retail price of around $70. In Christchurch, the South Today.
Whai Yakane, still to come on the South Today. A tight tussle in the latest Ford Trophy match between Otago and Canterbury, and mountain bikers from far and wide descend on Queenstown for a bumper festival.
Hi, my name's Matt and I'm the Dines Group CEO. Dines is a company that's focused on selling logistics solutions to its customers. We're passionate about selling efficiency and we've been selling efficiency for over 50 years now.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Just when you thought it was safe to get back on the sofa, my mate John's having a price frenzy! He's taken 19% off sectional lounge, 31% off coffee tables and buffets, 42% off selected clearance items and much, much more! Plus pay it off over 24 months interest free! My mate John's price frenzy!
Where did you get that furniture from? Stafford Street and my mate John.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Hi, we're Age Concern Otago.
Age Concern Otago hosts a multitude of social activities, including Otago Vaults.
Tēnā koe, welcome back. The Otago Vaults were happy to clinch a close Ford Trophy game win against the Canterbury Wizards yesterday at Dunedin's University of Otago Oval. The home side needed to chase 170 from 50 overs, but didn't make it look easy in the limited overs match.
The Wizards' batting lineup never looked comfortable against the Vaults. Otago's bowlers chipping away at the visitors, limiting them to 169 runs from 46 overs. Michael Reid led the charge with 3 for 35, but was well supported by his teammates who kept piling on the pressure. When it was the Vaults' turn to bat, some loose shots gave the Wizards hope. Otago started losing regular wickets, finding themselves 6 down for just 81 runs. However, run rate was never really an issue, as experienced all-rounder Michael Rippon combined with Jake Gibson for a calming 63-run partnership to almost steer them home. Gibson was in disbelief when he edged a ball from left-arm quick Ed Nuttall through to the keeper, almost letting Canterbury back into the game. But a 17-run cameo from Ben Lockrose, alongside Rippon's 44 not-out, secured the Otago Vaults' 3-wicket win. In Dunedin, the South today.
Thousands of riders are converging on Queenstown for the town's upcoming Bike Festival. The 10-day mountain bike event features a mix of events catering for a wide range of cyclists.
These riders taking to the sky as they get ready for the Queenstown Bike Festival. This 10-day event is packed to the brim with mountain bike races of all types to suit a variety of ages and skill level. Event organiser Emerson Wilkin has been working for the past 3 years to bring the event to Queenstown and is keen to see riders challenging themselves.
The idea of the Bike Festival was to try and add as many events as we can with a whole bunch of different disciplines and combine them in a 10-day festival for everyone to enjoy, from young riders to pro riders to everybody in between.
Along with hardcore downhill and cross-country events, there's also enduro racing and a world-first bungee bike competition. Riders are travelling down under from around the world to attend the festival, but Wilkins says there's plenty of great up-and-coming local talent to look out for.
Oh, there's so many pro riders. I couldn't even tell you which one. To be honest, I'd probably tell you to look after the actual locals. The locals are at an extremely high level. The guys ride here all the time, and they actually compete overseas, and they do pretty well overseas.
With hundreds of hours put into the event, there's hopes the summer fire restrictions don't disrupt plans. Along with competitive racing, there's also a number of family events and opportunities to ride e-bikes, allowing the whole community to join the party on 2 wheels. In Queenstown, the South today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South today. Jacinda Ardern has made a surprise announcement, stepping down as Prime Minister and setting a mid-October election date. A 64-year-old Australian adventurer is on a mission to jet ski his way around New Zealand and stopped off in Dunedin. And Cantabrians can have their say on what they might like to feature on a special regional edition of the classic board game Monopoly. And now a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT, and we welcome the editor, Barry Stewart. Hello, Barry.
Hello, Hannah.
And what can we expect in the paper tomorrow?
Well, you tell me. You've already mentioned it. Of course, the Prime Minister standing down, resigning. That's the big story of the day. Political editor Mike Houlihan has the analysis of that. We also get reaction from Southern MPs and a variety of other political leaders, their reaction to that decision. And of course, the big question is, who will be the next PM? And we may find that out on Sunday. And in the meantime, we look at some of the contenders for the role. So Grant Robinson, I was going to say local MP, but the man that was born in Dunedin.
That's right.
So he's already pulled out. He has said he will not be standing for that role. So unless they can change his mind, because he appeared to be the obvious candidate. But so we'll see how that rolls. So lots happening there. But also I have a very sad story. There's a person missing in Lake Wakatipu after a rescue attempt. It happened at the same spot as the event last Friday where somebody died at Glenorchy. So details are just emerging on that, so I haven't got the full details at hand, but there'll be more of that in the paper tomorrow.
Yeah, heartbreaking. All right, we look forward to reading more tomorrow.
Okay.
Thanks, Barry.
Thank you.
And time now for a look at tomorrow's weather.
The South Today weather, proudly brought to you by MoleMap, the skin cancer detection specialists.
Looking at the situation, a cold front will move over southern districts late tomorrow, bringing blustery southwest winds. Heading to the top of the South Island, westerlies and cloud with 25 in Nelson tomorrow, northerlies over in Greymouth with a high of 21, and a hot day in Christchurch with 28 degrees and high cloud. Travelling to South Canterbury and North Otago, light winds and high cloud with 27 tomorrow in Ashburton. The same temperature but with stronger nor'westerlies and cloud in Timaru, while Uamaru will get late southwesterlies with showers and 25 degrees. Heading westwards to the Central Lakes, fresh westerlies and evening showers through here tomorrow, 23-degree highs for Wanaka and Queenstown, with Alexandra heading for 24. Well, coming further south, a southwesterly change and rain easing as we come through here. Balclutha and Gore reach highs of 19. Down in the Catlins, you'll get up to 20 degrees as your high. And down to the deep south, warm nor'westerly winds and some cloud tonight in Invercargill with a low of 14. Fresh gusty nor'westerlies and scattered rain tomorrow, up to 19 is the high. And into the weekend, showers clearing on Saturday with a sunny afternoon and cool winds easing. The high will be 15 degrees. And finally, heading to Dunedin. Well, a great evening for a beach walk with clear skies and light winds, an overnight low of 14. Tomorrow looks fine and very warm again with high cloud and northerlies before late showers after a high of 25 degrees. Saturday brings morning showers before a sunny afternoon, followed by cool southwesterlies and a high of 16 degrees. And that's the news this Thursday. For the latest news and videos from the Southern region, head online to odt.co.nz. And you can follow Channel 39 on YouTube to catch our news bulletins on demand. We'll see you again tomorrow. Ka kite upopo.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.